from the back of a moving U-Haul in the heart of Columbus, it's Tacky Tablecloths!
Sam Raimi movies better. The Sam Raimi movies are just so much better, and it's just fucking nostalgia. Oh,
well, and then there's those people that they just like the Amazing Spider-Man, because obviously everyone knows that one's the best.
Are there people who like the Amazing Spider-Man?
Oh God, there are. There probably are.
Well, I could see it on an ironic level. I don't know if I've said it on here before. I do think the first one isn't bad. Mm-hmm. I'd say the first one's equal in quality. Actually, I'd say it's better in quality than Spider-Man 3 or...
oh, God. See, I'd rather...
It's better than Spider-Man 3. I'll definitely say that.
Welcome to the program, everybody. This is Tacky Tablecloths. I am your host, Bryn.
I am also your host. My name is... Alex.
Man, he said that so accusingly, as if I wasn't gonna stop.
I am also the host of the show.
Yeah, it's just me. It's just me. I'm talking to myself. I'm really good at doing two voices at once.
I believe the preferred phrase is co-host. Well, no, actually, no, because co-host is what you say to the Andy Richter or the right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're co-lead hosts.
Okay, that's a little too much credit for me, actually.
All right, do you want to be my Andy Richter?
No, not really. I'd like to think I'm a little funnier than that.
Guillermo?
No, God.
You don't want to be Guillermo?
I'd like to think I'm a little funnier than that.
Yeah, not too much happened this week. We just, riding around in the U-Haul as usual.
The weirdest thing is I actually moved, and the U-Haul still knew the correct house to pick me up at. Mm-hmm. I texted Bryn the other day. I was like, I don't know how this is going to work, because usually the U-Haul just shows up at our respective houses and we climb in, and all of a sudden, next thing I knew, there it was, just ominously parked outside of my house. My new house.
I kick open the back door. Get in, loser! We're recording a fucking podcast.
We're yelling about superheroes again.
Yeah, so that's we took a journey around town and to the movie Cinemaplex, and we saw twice.
Well,
yes.
Actually, we went to the same movie theater once. We just left one theater and then snuck into another one.
Yeah, within the span of 12 hours.
Basically.
Yeah, so as of recording this, last night we saw
Midsommar.
Because I'm an American and that's how I'm pronouncing it.
I mean, if they wanted me to pronounce it Midsommar, they would have spelled it like Midsummer.
Well, yeah, but it's European.
Yeah, so Midsommar.
Midsommar.
No, not like that.
Midsommar.
No, not like that.
Midsommar.
That's just making me uncomfortable.
So yes, that it is a independent, not really independent.
It's an A24.
Yeah.
It's an A24 quote unquote horror film.
I don't know why this was listed as a horror film.
For the same reason that The Witch and
The Witch.
You're fine with The Witch, but Midsommar is.
No, I call it The Witch.
You always text it as.
I do because it's funny because that's how it's always spelled as.
I believe the
correct pronunciation am Vitch. Yeah, we're out in the forest and we have to look out for the Vitch. She has taken my wife.
I'm a child.
She killed my wife. I don't know who kills who. It's been a while since I've seen it. Anyway, and then we also saw this morning the new Spider-Man movie, which just came out.
Spider-Man Far From Where Are My Children?
Where my wife is dead. So yeah, so Alex, what did you think of Midsommar?
As I said, it's an A24 horror film.
Also directed by Ari Aster, who did Hereditary,
which was my favorite quote-unquote horror film of last year. Hereditary I saw and I was like, man, this is not really a horror film, but compared to Midsommar, Hereditary is definitely a horror film in comparison.
Well, that's why I'm glad that, like, I just watched Hereditary, what was it, a couple nights ago. Almost knocked over the mic.
Oh, good, knock it over.
A couple nights ago.
Those damned potholes.
Because I had never seen it, but I had heard that, it's one of those movies that's listed as a horror movie, but really isn't. It's more of like a thriller or drama type deal. So I was glad going into it that, I wasn't expecting, something like fucking Annabelle Comes Home.
Which, I mean, and even though I don't really know that horror is the most fitting name for these, if this is what you're going to produce as horror, I'm fine with that, because I will take a million of these weird and experimental films, even if they don't always hit, over something like Annabelle or Lady in the Walls or, Dog Fucked My Ass or whatever,
Dog fucked my ass and now I'm cursed. There's a demon living inside of me.
Those movies that are literally just nothing but jump scare after jump scare after jump scare. It's just... Ugh.
And then demon exposition.
Yeah. There's always got to be the shot of the father walking up. I haven't done this in a very long time, but for this case I will.
I thought we were tired. No, Charles. The doll is back. But yeah, no, totally. Like, I like these kind of movies way more than, the traditional... Not even traditional. I mean, like,
it's
some of the most
recent tradition.
Yeah, I mean, some of the most classic horror movies aren't, obnoxious jump scare ones, and those, like The Exorcist. Those are the ones or Alien.
That's why those last.
Exactly.
Because watching them gives you just this fucking sense, and that is what these, for lack of a better term, I'm just going to call it an A24 horror film.
Yeah.
Even if A24 doesn't make all of them. Because there are other films sort of like it, but they're all, like, styling themselves after the horror films that A24 buys.
Well, kind of like Get Out. Like, that wasn't explicitly, like, a horror movie. It was way more of a thriller.
It was, like, a thriller with some comedic elements. But just those films, they do at least still manage to give you that sense of dread that the classic old horror films did. And that's why it's like, I don't really fit it as horror, but I don't
Rosemary's Baby. That was the other one I was trying to think of. But
I don't really know what else to, like, put it in at. I mean, like you said, you could call it thriller or whatever, but it's like...
Self-indulgent.
Yeah.
That's what I would call it.
Because they're usually such slow burns that it's like thriller just feels... And I mean, a thriller can be a slow burn, but it's just...
Yeah. Well, I think we should get off the topic of, like, calling it just a horror movie.
Well,
like,
it's
listed as a horror movie. All the trailers make it seem like it's like this, super tense. This movie is slow as fuck. And I don't usually, I don't mind, 2.5, 3 hour movies. Some of my favorite movies are super motherfucking long. But oh my god, do something with it. There's probably a good 30 to 45 minutes of this movie that could have been cut out and nothing would have changed. Aside from just very minor things. Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It is fucking 2.5 hours long.
Oh, yeah. I knew that going into it, and I was just like, oh, great.
It actually felt longer to
me,
did. Honestly.
And that's the thing. Like, how long was Spider-Man that we just saw today? That felt really long.
That's 2 hours and 8 minutes. I only remember because I looked at it.
It felt longer, but not in a bad way.
Spider-Man?
Yeah. Because I was at least thoroughly entertained the whole time. And I know, it's apples and oranges.
I was just say,
but
they're two very different movies. But our friend told us, and I meant to look this up and forgot to, so I can't verify this, but our friend told us that Ari Aster, the director, in an interview claimed that he didn't like the movie being advertised as horror. He called it Alice in Wonderland for perverts, and that's...
Yeah, that makes sense.
Definitely a more fitting description.
Yeah, no, that absolutely.
I told Bryn when we were walking out of the theater that this, to me, seemed more like something that Yorgos Lanthimos would have made. I mean, he would have, if he had made it, it would have been a lot funnier and a little punchier. It definitely wouldn't have, well, yeah. But just the way that it's so bizarre and oddly funny, and we're the only people laughing in the theater, and...
Oh, yeah, like when we saw, Killing a Sacred Deer,
exactly,
like that was
exactly
fucking
like when
great.
we saw that.
But yeah, we can do spoilers and stuff because I doubt anyone else is gonna see this motherfucking movie.
Well, they might, but yeah, here's a warning.
Yeah,
we're gonna get into some spoilers.
Yeah, so it starts off like the first like at least 30 to 45 minutes is before they even get to the compound. So there's like this couple and the girlfriend, her family, her younger sister commits suicide and also kills her parents at the same time. Yeah. So she's basically without a family, and then her relationship with the guy is like falling apart. But then him and his buddies are going to go to Sweden. Yeah. For the Midsommar festival. But one of their college friends is from Sweden. He was a foreign exchange student, and they're going to go there.
They're going to his commune.
Which you later find out is just a cult.
I did really just focusing on the first act of it. I did really enjoy the actual scene. Well, enjoy is probably not the right word because it wasn't. It wasn't enjoyable at all. It was awful.
What?
The way that they did the whole firefighters coming in, parents dead, like the way that they just showed that and just kept like pulling back and going through the house and
there was that one shot that reminded me of Contact. It was where the I think they're like in the bathroom and they close the medicine cabinet and it's or I think it's like it's on the fireman, and then they open up a medicine cabinet and you realize it's a mirror that they're looking at, and then it like the camera turns around to show the hallway with all the firemen and stuff. It reminded me of the first scene in Contact. Where have you ever seen that?
I'm trying to think of.
Jodie Foster was in it.
No,
the aliens one.
I was thinking of Arrival, which is also a one-word alien movie.
It's basically like the Jodie Foster it's her character, but as a little girl, and her father's having a heart attack, and so she's running upstairs to get his medicine, and it's one tracking shot going through the living room, up the stairs, and then down the hallway, and as it gets to the bathroom, the camera zooms out, and you realize that it was on the mirror the entire... What are these people waving at? There's people outside my house just waving at my house. Are there people on the sidewalk? What the
not that I can tell.
This got me off track. Anyway, it's a really cool shot. You gotta look it up later.
All right, yeah.
But anyway, that reminded me of that. Yeah, the cinematography in this movie is really fucking good.
Yeah.
And it's a good contrast from Hereditary, which was like pitch goddamn black the entire time, no colors, and then this one was mushroom trip. Bright colors, all over the place.
Yes.
Very happy aesthetically, but the atmosphere was very grim. So, from that, pretty damn good. I was impressed. Where I think it fell flat on was the editing choices and the story.
Yeah, definitely. Especially the story.
Or lack thereof.
I guess, yeah. It's like they had like a four sentence summary. Girl loses family. Girl goes with boyfriend on trip to Sweden. Commune in Sweden is full of killers. They kill the people. And then they...
And here's the thing. I'm sure you could have predicted that too, that was exactly what was going to happen the entire time.
Well, yeah.
And whether you knew the exact ending or not, you knew it was going to be like, oh, that just ended on some weird shit. But, you would have liked to think that it would have been a little more than what it was, because there was such a great setup in the beginning. And then it just gets to the middle part where, like, you're starting to figure out about the cult and what they're doing and all that, and, you know, their rituals and whatever. It just drags on so fucking much on just absolutely pointless, long scenes, and not even in, like, a good Kubrick way.
Well, yeah, because it lingered, but it was also doing a bad job of actually getting me invested in anything to do with the cult. Like, most of what they were saying was just so pointless. Yes, this is the book. The boy over there, he is product of... I can't do a Swedish accent, so you're just going to have to deal with that.
I'll do my Swedish chef.
He is product of incest. He make the poo-poo on the sheet, and then we translate. You cannot look at the Bible.
Yeah, and then nothing ever became of that.
Yeah, other than...
Also, nothing ever became of, like... You know, it would have been nice to, like, tie in, like, her loss of a family. Like, I kind of got the fact that, like, you're our family now, you know, as she was...
But they didn't even, like...
Like, there was no, like, satisfying resolution to it. It was like, we put boyfriend in bear costume and set him on fire, and now you are a flower slug. Haha. And
I was waiting to bring that up.
I will say... I would recommend this movie 100% just for the flower slug. Fucking great. I was just too shocked to even laugh. I was just like, the fuck is this?
I was laughing.
Oh my god.
The flower slug and the shot of the bear on fire with the screaming man in the background. Oh, that was a whole nother... The part when they're, like, walking towards the one house, and there's just the bear in the cage, and they're like, why is the bear in the cage? And he just goes, bear is in cage.
It is a bear. Like, yep, absolutely. I'm glad at least that came into play at the end.
Well, I mean,
kind of.
Who knows if that was the same bear or not?
I would imagine. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say, yeah, that was the same bear. But yeah, oh my god, yeah, this movie. It just felt like I've seen it too many times, and that's another one of the problems.
I've seen it done better other times. Yeah, that's the other thing.
There's the original Wicker Man. Are you familiar with that? I know the Nick Cage one.
This one actually made me want to rewatch the Nick Cage one.
Ironically, Nick Cage is in a bear suit during part of that movie.
I don't know why I don't remember.
You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah.
I don't remember most of that other than, like, when he first, like, finds the doll on the side of the road, and then the bees.
The bees. Yeah. Not the bees!
Those are really, like, the only two elements of that movie that I remember, and that's part of why I wanted to watch it again.
The original one from the 70s is actually a good movie.
Mm-hmm. So you mean a modern reboot was bad and, you know, let down the source material?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
When does that happen ever?
Yeah.
Men in Black International, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, Christ. Speaking of movies we have no interest in watching.
I'll watch it when it's on Netflix.
There's so many, like, shitty movies that, like, come out, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll just wait till Netflix, and then they're on Netflix. I'm like, God, I'd rather just rewatch old South Park episodes for the 80th time.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, like, oh my God. But I'm trying to think of, like, anything else. I don't really have too much to say about this movie.
I mean, I want to say... I had a lot of negative things to say about it. I have way more that I'm not going to say. Just because I don't want to feel like I'm nitpicking. But I still didn't hate it. Like, I still enjoyed it. It was still a nice, weird-ass descent into madness. Yeah, it's a movie about a bunch of teenagers taking acid and wandering through an IKEA store.
Oh, yeah, and the redhead gets naked. That's always a plus one on my book.
I don't care about that.
Boo.
Oh, yeah, that whole scene where she puts one of her pubes into his meat pie.
Oh, yeah, she serves the guy a hair pie, because earlier on in the movie there's a tarp that explains that if the lady trims their pubes and puts it in a man's meal, then he will become infatuated with her.
I really wish they could have been a little more subtle with that instead of they literally force you to look at it.
Yeah, it just pans across the whole thing.
Across
it's the entire screen.
Yeah,
it's like, oh wow, I bet this is gonna come into play.
The only way it could have been brought up even more is if he like eats the pie and then he just and like has like a brain flash, and then you just watch the same thing over again.
Yeah, because secretly all of their pubes are infused with mushrooms.
Well, I mean, you get to that point where like everything just starts becoming pure nonsense, and like
yeah, you're like,
even when no one's consuming anything, they're still out of it. Like the food, which you never actually truly see. I mean, you know, it's most likely
it's people. They're eating the people.
But it's still, you never see it. You just see it kind of pulsating out of the corner at all times.
Yeah.
And like when she gets the flower crown after she wins, not the full slug outfit.
Yes, just
the
crown.
Flower crown. There's like one random flower that just keeps like the black part of it, like the inside, just keeps like widening and shutting.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I
like noticed that. Because there was something earlier in the movie that did the same thing. There was that same effect, but like, I'm sure people listening to this that know nothing about this movie are just like, the fuck is this fucking bullshit? It was.
I mean, even if you watch it, that's still how you feel. You'll be like,
God, the funniest scene is the consummation scene. Oh my God. Okay, all right. So let me paint a picture here.
Yeah, you paint that picture.
Okay, so the slug girl who lost her family or whatever, she's off blessing the crops or whatever, and her boyfriend, who
what is she doing?
She was blessing the crops. They took her off to bless the crops.
Is that literally what the...
Yep.
I don't even know how the fuck I don't remember this.
Anyway, so the boyfriend is taken into this hut where there's all these like probably looks like 10 just completely fully naked women.
Yep. Just
standing there, and on the ground on a bed of flowers or some shit is the redhead chick who snuck her pube into his meat pie. And so now he has to put his meat stick into her hair pie. And it is just probably the funniest goddamn thing I have ever seen on screen that was trying to be serious. Well, I hope that the intention was that it was supposed to be funny.
Yeah, that's...
Because it was just so goofy. But, like, if... Oh, my God, I swear to God, if that director was like, no, this is very serious. I don't know. He's American, isn't he?
Ari? Yeah.
I'm just going to... He's some sort of European now, in my eyes. We have to appreciate the bush of the ladies.
At least one of those women has to have been one of the same witches from Hereditary. He's like, hey, do you want... Now I'm fucking doing it.
Hey, want to be naked in my next movie?
He's like, you wanna come over, be in fucking Sweden and be naked again?
Yeah, so he's like fucking this chick, and they're all like standing around cheering, and they're like,
and then they all start doing it.
Yeah, they all start like moaning, and then the big old lady goes up behind him and starts thrusting her hands onto his butt and pushing him, so he will thrust further deeper into the redhead.
Just smacking his ass.
Just smacking his ass. I'm just like, what in the hell is happening? And then she does the Big Lebowski thing.
Yeah.
After they're done, she puts her legs up. For, what are you doing there? Yoga? It's for conception, Jeffrey. For fertility.
Yeah, it was the exact. And it's funny if I'd never seen the Big Lebowski, I probably wouldn't understand what was going on there. I'd be like, "What is?"
Yeah, why is she doing yoga?
But yeah, that. Oh, and then the boy is also just in the corner watching the whole time too.
Oh yeah, he is.
Because
he's a fucking pervert.
The product of incest.
Mm-hmm.
Since they occasionally forcibly have incest children to become the new scribes for their commune because their mind is untainted by sin or something like that.
Sure. Yeah. Fucking what's his face was in the movie. He was the comic
squinty face.
Yeah, squinty boy. Yeah, he was kind of the comic relief.
He was the attempted comic relief.
Yeah, and he was also just vaping the entire time. But after like the second scene of him vaping, I'm like, wait a second. There's like they don't have like electricity, do they? I never saw them, like, plug anything in or have lights or anything.
Yeah, but their phones were always fully charged.
Yeah, so. Exactly, which was really weird, even though, like, none of them ever had signal or anything.
Because they were just on acid.
Yeah, and I'm just like, how are you about to charge your vape if there's no...
I told you.
Did you bring, like, 10 batteries?
This movie is not actually about people in a commune in Sweden. This is about a group of college kids who failed their exams... And they all got really fucking stoned and went to an IKEA, or they dropped acid or whatever. And they went to an IKEA.
And this is what they imagined.
Through. Yeah, that's why everything's so sterile and bright, and it's never dark.
And you can't find your way out.
Yeah. And the food is weird, and you eat it, but you don't like really focus on
Swedish meatballs.
Yeah.
What kind of meat is this? Yes. Absolutely. I think you're onto something. I gotta rewatch that movie again and just, with that conspiracy theory in mind.
Ari, if I've cracked your code, you owe us at least one free bottle of Pepsi Cola.
He's like, God damn it, they have a crack in my code. It's only been two days since the movie came out.
You can't see it, but Brendan's doing the spicy hands.
I'm doing the spicy hands.
Because apparently Ari is Italian now.
Yeah, I started with Swedish and now he's Italiano.
You moved into like douchey Euro at one point.
Hey, ma bella, you come with me. We have a good time.
Yeah, that's what Ari looks like, just for
reference. No,
I've
seen him. He kind of looks like Griffin McElroy.
I don't know why. I thought he was very different looking.
So anyway, final verdict on
Midsommar.
And Midsommar.
No, actually, I have more that I want to say about it real quick.
Feel free, because I'm done.
I want to say, and this is not the actual movie's fault itself, but I want to say it really pisses me off that A24, the company that made this film, decided that this needed to be released. This was perfect. Good job. Good job, Ari. We're not going to run no interference. You make this however the fuck you want. That's cool. Whatever. But you're going to turn around and you're going to fuck a movie like Under the Silver Lake, which is, in my opinion, of the exact same quality, if not better, than this movie. It has the exact same problems and the exact same strength. It's got amazing camera work. It's got really, really good acting, which the acting in this movie we didn't really touch on, but like everyone's performances
was fine.
I would say
the girl was kind of laughable in some scenes. When she was getting like super upset, and it's like I realize, you got.
Well, the way that she does, like that's just how Ari seems to direct trauma crying. Is that weird? Like, because that's exactly how he had.
It's just kind of. I realize some people cry like that, but
not everyone does.
Well,
especially when you have it just going on for a solid 2 minutes and like it was a beautiful shot. You got the police lights in the background, the pissed off boyfriend.
Well, and even after that, like when she's just like getting freaked out, like in the actual commune, it's like it was fine. I don't think it was their fault at all.
But anyway, back to my original point because I'm very bad about staying on topic. Under the Silver Lake, which Bryn still needs to see, and he will see. Went to the film festival. Went to I never say it right, so you're gonna say it for me.
Frenchin.
Yeah.
Cannes.
Went to Cannes. They kicked the can down the road.
Did not get that Palme d'Or.
Yeah, most of the French people there. Well, I mean, how many French people actually go to the frickin' thing anymore?
Yes.
Most people there did not like it. It was pretty divisive. So A24 was like, you know what? We'll just kind of hold off on this for a little bit, and then we'll spit it out. And so originally the movie was supposed to come out like last June. I don't know if you remember. I was on here talking about how freaking excited I was for that movie.
Oh, yeah, it's been a while.
Because The Big Lebowski is one of my favorite films, and this movie reminded me from the trailers of a cross between The Big Lebowski and Brick, which are two of my favorite films. Under the Silver Lake was not either of those. And again, we will review it and talk about it at a later time once Bryn actually gets to see it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say too much, but I will just say that movie was of equal quality to this film. They're both made by A24, that gets shafted so hard that I can't even buy a Blu-ray of it. It doesn't come. It comes out in like 4 movie theaters. Mm-hmm. It gets shipped to Amazon in the incorrect ratio, so that part of the film is cut off, like on the screen.
What's it in?
I don't remember. I only know because Red Letter Media pointed it out.
Oh, okay.
And I hate to. Yeah, we watched them in case you couldn't tell by now. like it's just.
Was it like zoomed in so it cropped it?
Yeah, it's slightly cropped.
God, I hate it when they do that.
Yeah, so it's incorrect. There's literally no special features on the DVDs that they shipped out because that's all you can buy this film on is DVD.
Oh, that's pitiful.
Yeah, I was like, I can't even remember the last time I bought a DVD other than
of a newer movie.
Yeah, of a brand new movie.
Yeah.
I asked the Walmart employee for a Blu-ray, and they're like, "No, we ain't got Blu-ray." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "We ain't got Blu-ray. We just got DVD." I'm like, "How is that possible in 2019?"
I don't know, bud. I just work here.
I mean, yeah, it's not like I was.
Was it fucking Cletus?
I wasn't literally just like standing there yelling at them.
Why don't you mosey on along?
Mosey on along, boy. But it's the exact same thing. Like that movie, great camera work, great acting. You know, a good initial premise for a film, and then it just kind of it's overindulgent. This movie's overindulgent. You know, it's the director making their next film, needs to be told no, doesn't get told no enough.
Yeah, exactly.
But Midsommar comes out, and it's a modern horror masterpiece. And it's the exact same thing with Us as well, which we already talked about.
Oh, God, yeah.
Where Get Out was the superior film. Hereditary was the superior film. I'm kind of split on between It Follows and Under the Silver Lake as to which was better. But just, it's very similar to
I've heard It Follows is very good. I still need to watch that.
That's my favorite horror film of the last decade. Mm-hmm. And that's quote-unquote actual horror.
Right.
But it just really pisses me off that movie got shafted so hard, and then these other two come out, and they're acclaimed as modern horror masterpieces.
Right.
Despite being jumbled messes.
Yeah.
But that's about my 2 cents on Midsommar.
That's our rant about art house. So, Alex, we this morning saw Spider-Man Spider-Man European Vacation.
Yeah.
Starring Chevy Chase.
Yeah. From all the advertising, or at least most of the advertising, I thought this movie was like purely a Britain thing or like a mostly Britain thing.
Yeah, because they really only showed London in the trailers, which was like the climactic finale.
Yeah.
Which I was kind of glad that they didn't spoil any of the... Like, I knew Mysterio was a bad guy. Oh, spoiler. Yeah, spoilers unless you have no fucking idea who Mysterio is.
Who's Mysterio? I'm Quentin Beck.
I'm Mysterion.
Mysterion.
And this is my arch rival, the Coon. Little South Park for you. Yeah, no, it was cool that they like went. There were a lot of cool locations. They went to Venice. They went to Prague. They went to.
They definitely.
They were in Austria at one point, but I think that was just the scene where they were taking the piss stop.
I think you're right.
And Peter gets caught with his pants down,
quite
literally,
by the kid who aged 5 years, but then is still in their class as well.
Okay, yeah, that was something that they introduced that at the beginning of this movie to explain that everyone aged 5 years who didn't, what they call it, blip?
Yeah, the blip, the snap.
Thanos snapped, half the population went away. Those people who were still there on Earth aged 5 years, and when everybody came back, the people who had vanished are still the same age they were when they were gone. So I'm to assume that Peter and MJ and Ned and Flash and everyone else, they all got snapped away.
Yeah.
Presumably.
That's basically most of Midtown High? Most of their school got snapped with the exception of like Peter Chang, I think. The guy who was older.
Okay, so did they explain that? Because I know they
sort of, yeah. That's basically what they said. Was they're like, And take, for example, the not the little girl, but the girl doing the news report thing. She's like, take, for example, me. And she shows a picture of herself before the blip, and then a picture of herself after the blip, and it's the same. And then she says, now take Peter. And then, I don't think it's Peter. I don't remember his name. Who? Was it Ben?
The Asian guy that was hitting on MJ?
Yeah.
I forget his name.
Anyway, it's...
Let's just call him
Ben.
Frank.
Frank, okay.
Frankenberry.
She's like, take a picture of Frankenberry, and then it's like him from the way that he looked in the first movie. Mm-hmm. And then she's like,
was he in the first movie? Was he a character?
I'm assuming.
He was probably just one of the background athletes.
Well, I wouldn't put it past them to just make that joke, because the one thing that the Spider-Man movies are very good at is humor. I had an itch on my arm.
he's like scratching his arm on a chair.
But and then they show the picture of the new Frankenberry, and he's 5 years older and taller and on the basketball team.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that joke too.
So how old are they supposed to be? Like 16?
Yes,
because I think they're juniors.
Peter
at this
Parker
point.
is 16. He explicitly says that at least twice in the movie.
Yeah, so meaning that guy would like be in his
he'd be 21,
20s
or 20. Yeah, he'd be somewhere around there.
Yeah, because he didn't blip.
Yeah, he just kept on trucking.
That's pedophilia, man.
Well,
because he was hitting on MJ. And she's also 16.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He would have been like what, 21?
20 or 20. Yeah, depending.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not legal, my dude.
That is weird.
Yeah, what the fuck? What the fuck is up with that?
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, now that you pointed that out.
I
mean, all the actors are like in their 20s anyway.
Well, yeah. It could have been that he was like a younger classman than them, though, and like caught up.
Whatever. Who
We're
cares?
thinking harder than the people at Marvel about it. I know.
Okay.
But that joke where they show footage of like cell phone footage of the kids playing basketball
and they disappear,
and then they all blip, and then they show the footage again of the new basketball game and the band comes back in.
Yeah, they blip back in.
Kid gets hit in the head with the basketball.
What if like when they blip back in, they're in the exact same place that somebody else is standing?
I know.
Do they get morphed into one?
We need some answers, Russo's / Watts / Stan Lee.
Come on, Feige.
Stan Lee, give us the answer.
He can't.
Stan Lee.
He can't, man. He's dead, boss.
Stan Lee.
He's no longer with us. Wait, there wasn't a Stan Lee cameo, was there?
Supposedly there was, according to my dad, but I didn't see it. I don't know what the hell it was.
Because they usually make it real fucking obvious.
Well, yeah. Actually, I can try and look that up.
Yeah, what the hell? But anyway, yeah, damn, that movie was funny. I was laughing my ass off the whole time.
It was funny. I think that Homecoming was funnier. I definitely liked Far From Home more as a film. Mm-hmm. But I think Homecoming was funnier just because it was not... Like, we got out of that movie and I was like, that's the funniest movie I've seen this year.
Oh, yeah.
So when
Homecoming?
We saw it, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing about these two Spider-Man movies is, like, these are some of the only Marvel movies where I'm just like, yeah, I will totally sit down at a later date and watch these again. There aren't a lot where I can say that. Like, I think I saw Guardians of the Galaxy once after I saw it in the theaters, because I really like that one. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to think. I've probably seen Iron Man a couple times.
I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy a few times because I really liked it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like other than that, like I have no intentions of like watching Ant-Man again or Thor 1 or 2. Oh, like Ragnarok was really good. I might, later on down the line, but like Black Panther and I'm trying to think of some of the other ones.
Doctor Strange, I'd never see again.
Yeah, it was good, but like maybe like Winter Soldier would be. Winter
Soldier I saw 3 times just in theaters.
Oh shit! I think I've seen that. I can't remember if I've seen that twice, but yeah. Anyway, yeah. The rewatchability of these movies is so fucking great, and I'm so glad they're being made. Very good movie. So what'd you think about your boy? Your boy Jake.
Jake? Oh,
Jake Gyllenhaal.
I thought Gyllenhaal was great. I think Spider-Man Homecoming, up until Thanos, had the best MCU villain with Vulture. Mm-hmm. And then obviously Thanos raised the bar a little bit. But I genuinely think that Gyllenhaal, as Mysterio, he had clear-cut and reasonable motives. He's like, hey, me and my gang of motley assholes,
My nerd crew.
We all worked for
egomaniacal.
Thank you.
Tony Stark.
Assholes. Tony Stark, Jedediah Irons, the bad guy from the first
Jeff
movie.
Bridges. Yeah. Was that the same guy, or did they refilm that scene?
I don't know. I was wondering.
I gotta go back and watch Iron Man now to see, because they do this flashback at one point where it shows like the one bald nerdy scientist. He's getting yelled at by Jeff Bridges' character from the first Iron Man, and I think I remember that scene. So I don't know if it's the same actor or if they did the old thing where they just CGI out the actual actor and put in the new guy.
I'm 99% sure that that's what they did with the part where Gyllenhaal's in the background of the shot.
Oh,
from
absolutely.
Civil War.
Well, yeah, duh.
But no, I wonder, and it's one of those weird
He was
things.
there the whole time.
No,
Whoa!
you know how now with like Blu-ray Live and stuff, they can kind of patch in things and change ads and stuff like that. I kind of wonder, because Disney would be the company to do it.
Oh, God.
If they go
Dude,
and, like, just...
You're getting in George Lucas territory here. No.
I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying I'm wondering if they will.
Oh, God.
Like, you go back... I mean, not that you'd want to rewatch Civil War, because it's not that good, but...
I liked Civil War at least better than Age of Ultron.
Well, that's not saying much. That's like, hey, I liked Thor 2 better than Thor 1. Like...
Yeah.
Cool.
Neato.
But because there is that shot where he's like going into his weird play and there's like the stupid henchman down the corner. Like, I wonder if they will just, hey, it's Jake Gyllenhaal now. But I thought he was really good. Like, I liked his motives. The way that he used his powers, or quote unquote powers, was amazing.
Yeah. I liked the way that they had that reveal.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, when they're in the bar or whatever.
Well, it's funny because I'm like...
I totally knew he was up to some shit there. I mean, it's kind of obvious.
Because it's like, okay, Peter's still wearing his...
Night Monkey. Yeah, when he gets his stealth suit, he has to keep his cover, so Ned starts calling him the Night Monkey, and then the news picks it up.
Somehow.
It's the Night Monkey, but he still has spider webs. And Betty's just like, oh, okay.
That's a monkey spider.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Or spider monkey.
Spider monkey.
Yeah. It's like that later scene when he's in, I can't even try to pronounce it, the jail. And then he gets out of the jail.
Oh, when he's in the Netherlands?
Yeah. And the guard's wearing the Night Monkey.
Yes, yeah, and he's just like,
on the phone with his wife, he's like, I am wearing Night Monkey mask.
Yeah. That scene was funny. Yeah, Peter wakes up in a Netherlands jail.
Next to three hooligans.
Yeah, three like football hooligans.
Did you see the one just passed out on the floor, too?
No, I didn't even notice that. There was a fourth one?
There's one just passed out on the floor of the cell.
Oh my god, dude. I want to go to the Netherlands. Those people are so nice. And they speak English. Hey, my friend.
But, yeah.
No. Once he escapes, and then the guard is like, "Hey, what's going on over there?" And they just shut the cell
gate
door.
And lock it again.
Yeah, they're not gonna escape. They're like, "I served my sentence."
They're apparently Italian too.
Hey, I don't know what a Netherlands accent sounds like. This is every European. Hey,
just take two shoes and just clop them together. That's another.
Clippity clop. I like a windmill and the pots. Oh man, that pissed me off when Happy landed in the tulip field. That's like a big thing that they do there is grow the tulips, and he ruined like an entire field by landing a goddamn jet in it.
It's a Stark jet. It might not have ruined him. You don't know.
Those landing gears definitely did.
It's a Stark jet. It's cool.
Man, pretty much every element of this movie was great. I know you really liked. I was going to touch upon this. Mysterio. I still think the Vulture is a little better of a character because he ties into Peter's story. with his daughter and all that stuff. And
yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but at the same time, what I really like about Mysterio is clearly, especially with Peter handing the glasses over to him, which, like, if you haven't seen the movie, Peter's essentially given...
those dorky glasses that Tony Stark wears all the time? Yeah.
They're given to Peter, and they have actual significance. Like, they control all of Stark's weaponry and stuff like that.
Yeah, the fucking satellites with, like, the death beams on them. And drones and shit.
And Peter ends up giving it to Quentin Beck because he trusts him. And I feel like that's why he's important, is because Peter's trying to fill this hole, with Iron Man passing.
Right, for a father figure.
He's desperately trying to force Quentin to be his father figure, so he immediately hands it over to him. And that's, like, even though he doesn't technically tie in, the growth that Peter gains from, like, hey, I need to do things for myself, not completely wrong.
Oh, yeah, no. Peter's arc is great in this.
That's
and I think Mysterio obviously, ties into that.
But that's why, personally, I think that he's better than the Vulture as a villain.
As far as, like, the overarching story... Yeah, I can see your point there. I preferred aspects of the Vulture better, but I did like all of the scenes where Peter goes into, like, the whole virtual reality thing. What's the cat doing?
It's just the wind blowing.
Oh, okay, the bird feeder.
Yeah.
All the scenes where he makes Peter go into, like, the virtual reality shit. I did like how that looked.
Oh,
it really reminded me, because I think there was a part in the old Spider-Man 2 game where you do that, where you go into, like, this virtual area and whatever. It becomes like a platforming thing. But anyway, and then the fact that it kind of messes with his head, and he's like, oh, what's real, what's not real? Like, that was really cool. I really liked that.
That whole sequence was just... It was fucking amazing. Like,
are you talking about when quote unquote Nick Fury takes him to the headquarters?
Yes.
But then it turns out it's not Nick Fury. It's really
And just every aspect.
But it's never Nick Fury. Spoiler alert.
Wow. Yeah.
See the movie.
At that point, well, it was funny too because, like, he shoots Fury within the simulation. But me having been told beforehand, hey, Fury might be a Skrull, I'm like, oh, the Skrull's dead. That's how we're going to find out that Nick Fury's a Skrull. And then I'm like, oh, never mind, because that didn't matter. I just wanted to...
Yeah.
But,
spoiler alert, him and,
Mrs. Lady.
Robin from How I Met Your Mother, they're actually Skrulls.
Yeah.
Except they're not, they're just impersonating the real people. Because the real people still exist.
Or at least the real...
Nick Fury
does. I
don't know about the lady. She's been in, like, all of the Avengers movies, and she's just sort of, like, there.
Has she? I don't even remember.
Oh, yeah, no, she's always just, like, she always has, like, a couple of lines. I think the first one she was in was the original Avengers. Was that the one with the airship?
Yeah. The S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier or whatever.
Yeah, where Tony has to, like, start the rotor or what. Okay, yeah, she was on there. When Loki escapes and all that shit. Okay.
She just standing behind Phil Coulson's thick ass.
Is that the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. guy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And then he dies.
Rip. And then comes back in the TV show.
Because I think that was a prequel. I don't know. I've never seen the fucking TV,
like
any of the TV shows. I know you like some of them, but...
No, I haven't watched the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because that's not...
Well, I'm just saying any of the TV shows, just...
The other TV shows are all
just... watch fucking Daredevil.
Marvel's
Wow,
Defenders.
we really get off track easily.
Yeah, we do.
Movie. Spider-Man.
But my dad was saying, you know, he was asking me when I was trying to tell them about that scene, because he's always like, well, you always talk about how much you don't like CGI. And I'm like, it's not that I don't like CGI. I don't like using CGI for things that you can easily do practically.
Yeah.
You know, and
things that will age better.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're not necessarily easier or cheaper. You know,
I didn't say that, did I?
No. I'm just
okay.
saying.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, It you know, obviously it depends. Like, you're not gonna blow up the entire London Bridge.
Well,
you know.
But like
with
that's
practical effects.
But like that's why the Lord of the Rings still looks incredible now.
Oh, yeah.
Even in 4K,
And that's why The Hobbit
HD.
has not aged well.
Yeah. But that specific scene, the whole him being inside of the projections, that's my favorite type of CGI because it literally could not be possible on a practical level.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
Which is totally fine.
Oh my god, I want to see just that sequence again.
There was one bit. Okay, you know when Peter, when the water monster first comes up and he doesn't have the suit, he slings on top of a building or something, and when he lands, it's really obvious without his suit that he's completely CGI.
Is it?
Yeah, it was real. Like I saw that, and I was like, "Oh man, that's real obvious." Like it looked like the full 3D models like from the Matrix Reloaded.
Well, and that's the one thing that's funny is I don't like, or I'm not, at least I should say I'm not a huge fan of the fact that they like to CGI the suit back on even when it's like the actual suit that he's wearing. But a lot of the promo material that I saw, he's wearing a completely different suit from what he actually wears at those specific points in the movie.
Right.
So I do at least see the reason that they do that. Is, you know, like they probably shot... Like, they shot a bunch of the New York stuff with his red and blue.
Yeah.
But then he's actually wearing the black and red.
Right, so they probably just have a neutral suit that they film with, and then...
And it's just the standard red and blue, yeah.
Yeah.
But what I don't like is when they then, for some reason, even though they filmed it all in the red and blue, then go back and CGI the red and blue back on top of the red and blue. And it's like, what was the purpose of that? It makes him look too cartoony.
So they can clean up all the little minor things. I don't know.
See, that's the thing that I love the most about, like, the Raimi suit and the Amazing Spider-Man suit is they were so real looking. Like,
yeah, I mean, there were a lot of crappy CGI scenes in the Raimi movie.
But, okay, specifically more the Amazing Spider-Man. But, like, because that was a real suit, like, it actually bunched up in ports.
Pairs.
Well,
in all the fight scenes of the Raimi movie, for the most part, it looked like real stunts. Like, you know, you could see the cuts, you know, where the Green Goblin got him, or, you know, where his suit's tearing when he's trying to hold the train in. Yeah, and they did that in this movie, you know, when he was getting all bruised up and
shit beaten out of him in this movie.
Yeah, he got fucked up. Like, how the fuck is he alive? My God.
His super spider
because of his Peter Tangle.
Yeah, his Peter Tangle.
I wish I didn't have that spoiled for me.
Oh, did you have that spoiled for you?
Yeah, you laughed way harder than I did. I laughed just because, you know, it is funny. But, like, I saw, I didn't see anything about that, but then there was this Hulu ad for the last 2 days where I've been, like, rewatching old South Park episodes. And it's literally those two scenes of May saying, "Oh, what about your Peter Tingle?" And then Happy going, "Did you get your Peter Tingle back?"
Wow. What the fuck?
I wish they would have played a little more into that, like with, was it Spider-Man 2 where he kind of loses his powers? I think it's Spider-Man 2, yeah. Where there's like a whole middle section where, like, he's kind of struggling with being able to, you know, climb on walls and use his webs and, you know, all that shit. And you know, the setup for the Peter Tingle thing, you know, Spidey senses, it doesn't really affect the story at all. Even though, like, there's multiple mentions of it, and then Happy is like, "Oh, you gotta get it back, man. And then he just sort of, like, goes out there and does it. There's no real, like, setup. That would be my one big complaint.
I mean, what he's kind of trying to say though is that, like, it wasn't necessarily gone. Like, it's not like he lost it in a sense in this movie. He's literally so overwhelmed by how confused he was that he couldn't even process what's going on to, like, you know...
Right, because he's trying to talk to his lady friend. He's got the douchebag trying to take his lady friend. Flash is being a penis head.
I mean, that as well, but I don't even mean that. I mean specifically just when he's inside of the projections. Like,
oh, yeah.
Because it's so impossible to
focus
I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. Like,
no, I know what
even
you mean.
if his sense is like, you know, hey, like, a punch is coming in over here, but there's no visual of it, there's no anything. So, like, it's just, that's so...
Right, because in that first scene where he's in there...
He's beating the shit out of walls and stuff, trying to punch them.
Well, yeah, and then Mysterio's got a hold of quote-unquote MJ.
Yeah.
You know, the projection of her, and Peter's using his emotions more than his tingle.
Yeah. That too, and see, that's the thing is... That's why,
kids aren't going to get that joke. No. That's what's funny about it.
That's why I don't think that's, like... he didn't lose it.
It's not a huge complaint. I just wish there was just a tad bit more with that. It's just like there was really just like one scene where he's like, "When I go back into there, I'm gonna know what to do now." I was like, "Okay."
Well, part of that too is also because he tweaked elements of his suit as well. You know, that's why he's.
I got a new super suit. I really loved that scene where he's over the little crafting table, putting together a suit, and Happy looks at him, and he just sees Tony Stark standing there. Just that was wonderful. I really like that. I know, that was great. Yeah, I mean, I really hope that he keeps up. They keep him on in this role because if they keep making if they keep making these 10 years down the line, he is a sure candidate for I know he's already a leading man, but I hope he becomes the leader, not fucking Captain Marvel. God damn it.
Well, and see the thing that I've heard, which I would be glad if they did, because it would let me know, the scale of a film. And this is kind of back to what we were talking about when we left the theater, where you're like, I wish that they were still building up the Sinister Six, which it is still possible that they are, because Mysterio can very easily, if he's still alive, be a member of the Sinister Six. Mm-hmm. May not. I don't know. I'm not sure if he's actually dead or not. Hey. They tried to make it look like it, but then there was also the whole thing with the download and all that. So it's like, we'll see.
Well, yeah, the bald man could have downloaded his personality into a hard drive or whatever, and then
but with the Marvel films, what they're supposedly trying to do, and again, they're being as vague as possible about all this, because they're it's kind of going back to the older days, like the start of Marvel, where you don't really know exactly what's going, which is preferable to me, instead of
because this is
we got 15 movies coming out here, they all are.
Yeah, because this movie is really the epilogue to
this is
the Infinity Saga,
phase 3.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it just sort of shows how everything's wrapping up and restarting. So I'm excited. Yeah, I mean, what's the they're doing the Eternals? Is that what it's called?
Something. It's either the Eternals or the Immortals. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know anything about.
Yeah, they're gonna do that, which it kind of looks like Captain Marvel meets Guardians of the Galaxy, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they're doing
Shang-Chi,
yeah, the Asian guy. And then
Black Panther 2.
Yeah, Black Panther 2, presumably sequels for all the other people that aren't dead or retired.
Yeah, and Guardians 3, which...
That's not even going to start filming until next year.
Well, you can blame Suicide Squad 2 for that. I mean, actually, you can blame Disney.
Excuse me, the Suicide Squad.
You can blame Disney for that, actually, but...
Yes, yeah.
You're right. I'm sorry. The acclaimed, or the long-awaited sequel to the Oscar-winning Suicide Squad film.
Yes, the Oscar-winning Suicide Squad,
featuring Oscar nominee Jared Leto. Or is he an Oscar winner?
He is an Oscar winner. He won for Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh yeah. Anyway, back to what I was saying before I again unsurprisingly got off topic. Mm-hmm. The rumor is that Marvel's trying to really keep it split into the Celestial type films, like the Guardians, the Captain Marvels, the Eternals, all that shit, aka the things I'm less interested in.
Yeah.
And I mean, as much as I love the Guardians, they're grounded, whereas the rest of this is this person has the power to blow up a whole planet. It's that doesn't interest me.
Yeah, that's the same reason I don't like Superman.
Exactly.
Is because he's just such an OP piece of shit.
Yeah.
And such a one-dimensional character. They've never done anything good with him.
Yeah. I don't like space shit is cool, but I don't like the way that Marvel handles space shit, which is where all of their space characters...
It turns into just the most generic Star Trek-y looking bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like worse than, the worst Star Trek shit. It's just like, okay, here we go. Here's another, like, green pointy-eared alien man again. Here we go.
And, like, if anyone other than James Gunn was handling the Guardians, that's probably how bad they'd be as well, too.
Yeah. Well, and that's the problem is, like, when you have, like, the big conflicts in space, it's never something like, you know, on Earth where it's like, yeah, we're gonna sell weapons so we can, you know, hijack the Wall Street and take over the banks, or, you know, something that we can all understand.
We're gonna hijack the Wall Street, and then we're gonna walk the Vegas Strip, and no one's gonna notice.
No, like in Dark Knight Rises, where they hijack Wall Street, basically. You know, grounded shit that, like, we can understand. We understand the consequences, but when it's something like, you know, an alien race, like, it's always my planet has been betrayed or some shit, and now I got to destroy the whole galaxy. Yeah, like, fucking calm down, bro.
There's other ways to go about that.
Yeah, like, I just wish there would be more deeper conflicts.
Yeah.
You know, like with the J.J. Abrams Star Trek, it's like, I'm gonna blow up the whole galaxy. I'm gonna blow up Earth. Like, cool. Neat.
But yeah, that's why my focus on any other Marvel films will be more like on the non-eternal, like, space shit, like the non-celestials, like the...
I mean, the only ones that are left are Black Panther and Doctor Strange.
Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Shang-Chi...
I guess Ant-Man, if they're gonna do a third one.
Michael Douglas has said that he would like to do a third one.
Michael Douglas will do anything.
But it's not a positive sign when you have one of your actors having to come out and say that. That means they've heard literally nothing else about it.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Douglas, do you want to do another Ant-Man? Oh, they're hiring me for Ant-Man. No, Mr. Douglas, we're asking. Oh, sure.
I got another paycheck? Hell yeah.
I don't even have to change my name, I remember.
My Wall Street money is running out.
Oh, dear God. Was it... He was in Wall Street too, right?
He won an Oscar for the first Wall Street.
No, I'm talking about...
I'm
not talking about the good one. I'm talking about...
Money Never Sleeps.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, he reprised his role as Gordon Gekko.
Yeah.
I remember when that was first coming out. I don't remember when that was, but I was a lot younger, and I was like,
it's
wow.
2011, because I remember we watched the original in my humanities class. They were talking about the upcoming sequel.
Oh, okay. So I must have been like 16 or something. 16, 17. But, yeah, I remember when it was like first coming out, I was like, wow, wouldn't it be really cool if he won an Oscar again for the same character? And then the movie came out and it was shit, and I was like, oh, well, yeah, that's not going to happen. Because I don't think that's ever happened in, like, the history of the Oscars where...
2010.
Where an actor wins the Oscar twice for the exact same character. I know that the same character has won an Oscar with two different actors.
Who is that?
Don Corleone from The Godfather.
Okay.
So Marlon Brando won, and then Robert De Niro won for The Godfather 2.
I could believe that. I was gonna say if there was gonna be anything, I feel like it'd be something in The Godfather. Mm-hmm. Stallone didn't win a supporting for Creed, did he? Or was he just nominated?
I think he was just nominated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was to say, if he
did he win Best Actor for Rocky? I don't think he did. It won Best Picture, but I don't think he won Best Actor.
Okay. I'm trying to think of what else there could potentially be.
Yeah, I don't know. We could sit here all day.
Well,
Next week, we'll have an answer for you.
We probably won't, because we'll both forget, let's be honest.
Yeah, well, yeah, after this is done, I'm going to, look that up. Once you're gone, I'll start recording and be like, okay, here's my addendum. Yeah, as far as I know, no.
What about the same character by 3 different actors?
Yes. Alec Guinness was nominated for supporting actor for Star Wars.
Was he really?
Yeah, for Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, no shit for Obi-Wan,
but
yeah, he also played.
Ewan McGregor was snubbed.
Yeah.
He was brilliant.
Poor Ewan, sort of. I guess I don't know.
He's a good actor.
Did you see the trailer for just related to Star Wars, the new Rian Johnson movie?
No. When we left the theater, you told me to, and I came home and I didn't. I'll watch it. What's it about?
It is a murder mystery film. Mm-hmm. A guy dies. Is it a guy or what? Someone dies. And then a young detective is hired to investigate the rest of the murderee's family. And it has an insane cast. It has Chris Evans.
Daniel Craig in it.
Daniel Craig. I'm blanking on a lot of the names now.
Way to be prepared, fuckboy.
I wasn't planning on talking about it. I just thought about it because you were talking about Star Wars. Because we always have to talk about Star Wars.
Well, hopefully Rian Johnson's next movie won't be a big old pile of shit.
Oh, Anna de Armas, Jamie Lee Curtis, Toni Collette, Don Johnson, Michael Shannon, and Lakeith Stanfield. He's the detective.
Who's Lakeith Stanfield?
The main character from Sorry to Bother You.
Oh, that guy. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
There's something else that he was in recently too. Even just his Wikipedia.
I like
picture.
that. Oh yeah, he was in.
He looks like a superhero.
Yeah, what the hell is that thing he's wearing?
I have no idea.
It's like Anakin's like little coif thing that he wears in Return or Revenge of the Sith.
Oh shit, he played Snoop Dogg in Straight Outta Compton. I didn't know that.
Oh, he was on Atlanta.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still is or isn't. I still need to catch up on that.
Well, you should watch it right now.
Yeah.
Watch Atlanta.
I watched season 2. Oh, that just reminded me. You started watching One Punch Man, didn't you?
I did.
What do you think? Or how far are you into it, and what do you think?
I don't remember the exact episode. I'm on the part where like him and Giro, or is it Giro? The android,
the robot man.
Yeah.
They
got their hero licenses, and he's a C, and the robot's an S.
Yeah.
And he's like trying to commit at least one heroic act so he doesn't lose his hero license.
Right.
And then that's where I was at.
Yeah. Is that like when he like runs into like all the other C tier one? Have you met the bicycle guy yet? He's the superhero who just rides a bicycle.
I feel like
I forget what he's called.
I think he was in like an earlier scene because he like stopped some really, really petty crime or something.
Yeah, it was something dumb like saving a cat from a tree or something like that. But
my favorite was the ninja dude.
Ninja dude.
He was supposed to like guard the rich guy against the gang of like skinhead dudes. And then One Punch Man like goes to kill all the skinhead dudes because he doesn't want to get like associated with.
Oh yeah, that guy. It's a very funny show, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. So yeah, I told you you'd like it.
I like it. I still, out of nowhere, I don't even know why because I haven't watched an anime in forever. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess it's because I watched Neon Genesis Evangelion, which. You can tell that show ran out of money and lost its sight halfway through. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I might watch that eventually, but
it's worth watching. It's interesting, but it's But my friend got me to watch My Hero Academia, and I have never other than Full Metal Alchemist, I have not flown through a show like that, or at least an anime like that. Like I watched all 63 episodes of that in like a week.
Which I'm really surprised you did, because I got, like, a handful of episodes into that before I, like, started watching something else. And I did not peg you as, you know, someone who would like that show.
I mean, I guess it's because
Because it is kind of like a kid's show. But, you know, there's sort of a weird gray line between, like, a kid's show and an adult show for Japan.
Yeah.
Because, like, fucking grown-ass men will watch a show about
Dragon Maid Cafe
about maid cafes.
I think
S-Blend is actually a good show.
I think
or Blend S, that's what it is.
I think it's mainly because like I'm trying to think of how to describe it. Like everything that happens in the show, at least especially for the first 2.5 seasons. The main character, Izuku or Deku, you know, he gets called a bunch of different things.
Uh-huh.
He always has to try and outsmart or outwit. Like, it's not about just, like, the way a lot of the other animes are, where it's especially, like, you know, I grew up on Dragon Ball Z, where it's like, and then they just,
my power level is not ready yet, so let us stand here for 3 hours and charge our power levels.
Well, there's still filler. Like, don't get me wrong. There's a whole episode about designing their dorm rooms.
I mean, that's
standard for anime. I know. But
that's the thing that's really funny with, like, anime. Like, a lot of, like, Europeans, like, make fun of American TV for, like, you know, usually, like, sitcoms or, like, American-made network shows, they have, like, 20, 23 episodes per season.
Yeah.
And a good chunk of that is just filler shit that have nothing to do with the main story.
Yeah.
And then, meanwhile, Japanese shows, every goddamn anime is like, one season is like 80 episodes, and there's probably 5 of them that have anything of substance to them.
And see, that is the other thing that I liked about Academia is it's guilty of having filler, but it also briskly moves that story. Like, it's like, here's 5 bits of story, here's like kind of half an episode of filler, here's 5 more straight bits of just pure story. Like, it's...
And are the filler episodes, like, at least entertaining?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of them that are just, like Pokemon. Like, I used to love Pokemon. I haven't seen any of the recent seasons in goddamn years, but, like, goddamn, those filler episodes are just so fucking boring.
Yeah.
If you're not a 5-year-old.
The filler usually at least serves the purpose of... It's usually at least, like, strengthening relationships between characters or establishing ones, like... There are definitely bits that go on way too long, but it's like even the bit with decorating the dorm rooms, like, it serves a purpose within the story.
Oh, that's good. Well, so that's why I really got hooked on One Punch Man, like, almost immediately, is because there's really no filler episodes in that show.
I do love...
The season length is that the second season, I believe, just ended, so I gotta find out where I can watch that.
You can watch it on Hulu, but only subbed right now, not dubbed.
I'm pretty sure I watched it with the subtitles, so I'll...
Then it's season 3 you can watch... Oh,
no, it's...
Sub. Okay, never mind, I'm sorry. I heard you backwards.
Yeah,
I thought you were saying you watched season 2 with dubs.
No, there's only 2 seasons right now. The second season, like, just ended, I believe.
I'm mixing it up with Attack on Titan. I think that's what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah. I gotta watch that, too. But, yeah, I like those shows that are a lot more focused. You know, there's some anime where I'm just like, okay, you know, I'll watch, you know, a bunch of horse shit, but I really like those ones like, why am I blanking? Cowboy Bebop, where, like, yeah, there's a couple of filler here and there, but, like, it all sort of, like, it flows really well, and there's a limited, you know, amount of episodes total. You know, it's not like something like Naruto where there's 6,000 episodes, and then there's
One Piece.
Yeah. Oh God, One Piece is the. Oh my God, I've never been able to get into One Piece. Back in the day, I used to watch it on, like, Toonami, here and there. I never knew. I had no idea what the fuck was going on that show because I didn't know what an anime was at the time. It was like, wow, cool. There's pirates, and this guy's got he's like Stretch Armstrong. Yeah. Neato. And there's, like, the manga has like fucking 10,000 editions to it, and my God, yeah, there's yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I just kind of got into it out of nowhere. I think it being about superheroes helped. For
yeah, I gotta go back, and since you've put your ass cheek stamp of approval on it, I'll
something like that.
I'll give it a watch.
Give it a go. Give it a watch.
Yeah, but yeah, I would highly recommend finishing One Punch Man. If I can watch it now, I will totally watch it. It's quite good. You haven't gotten to what's the goddamn guy? The purpurry guy, the big old buff gay guy. I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be a gay man. I don't know, but anyway, he's like probably like one of the funniest characters in that show. It's fucking fantastic.
Funnier than the crab villain.
In the first episode, the crab guy was great.
What is he? He's like, I ate too much raw or rancid crab or something.
And now
like
I turn into a crab with underpants.
What the fuck am I watching?
This guy isn't a bad guy. He's one of the superheroes. But,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Have you gotten to at least like to see like the other S tiers?
So
like
the guy with the fan club who then like because he talks to Jiro, then all the other girls are like after him.
Yeah. And then there's like the little girl that's actually like an old lady, or I think she's supposed to be older, but she looks like a little girl and she has like Jean Grey powers. She's green. Okay, all right. She'll come in later. She's important. But yeah, no, really good show. I would highly recommend.
So, Brenton, would you recommend Midsommar?
I would recommend it if you're one of those like self-indulgent, pretentious film buffs. That's like, yeah, I really like this because this is like it got a limited release, and like I don't really
think it did get a limit. I think
I know it had a much wider release, but wow, it's just so great that films like this are getting such a wide release. Because like I really hate those like superhero movies. They're just so stupid. And these movies are so smart, they don't pander to your audience.
I mean, I do agree, though, that I'm glad that movies like this are getting a wide release, just because, like, anything that is at least mainly original and is at least trying to do something...
They usually get shafted.
Yeah.
Something like Annihilation.
Or Under the Silver Lake.
Yeah. I would recommend it if you're in, don't go into it thinking it's a horror movie.
Don't go into it thinking it's a pure comedy either.
Yeah, it's unless you just want to laugh at it, which by all means go for it.
If you're a fan of flower slugs, then we give this 4 thumbs up.
I give it 4 bear suits out of hair pie.
All right, so that's a glowing recommendation.
Sure.
Now, what about Spider-Man?
Probably one of the best movies I've seen this year. So
yeah, unfortunately, it's not saying much. But
what the fuck else?
And that's what we just talked about this last week with The Dead Don't Die. Like,
yeah, it's like, yeah, it was good. Doesn't really have to live up to anything else so far.
Like right now, Midsommar is definitely on my top 10, and I don't want it to be there.
Yeah, I can't remember what came out in like from like January to like April. I don't. I don't remember.
Not much. Jurassic World 2.
Did we see that?
Yeah. It was terrible.
That was this year?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I think that was the first movie we reviewed when we came back, like when the U-Haul first showed up and we got in.
Oh God. Oh God.
I know.
Fuck. I liked Godzilla 2 better than Jurassic World 2. Don't you even?
No, I think that's...
you were thinking about...
I'm trying to remember which one I said I liked better. Because Godzilla was definitely better than Jurassic World 2, so I think that's what I said.
Yeah, I like Godzilla.
Yeah. But my big thing now is, to me... Actually, I guess... I don't know why I didn't ask this earlier. Obviously, this is the first time you've seen it, so, this is subject to change. Is it better than Spider-Man 2? You probably already know my thoughts on it.
So is Spider-Man Far From Home better than Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi movie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, is it better than The Amazing Spider-Man 2? I know that's a really high gap for it to...
high bar. That's really tough. Because, I just saw this, and I think it's really good. It's solid. I still think Spider-Man 2... I mean, Spider-Man 2 just has that lasting cultural impact. From a time where we weren't, really oversaturated with superhero movies, it broke new ground. It did something so much different than what anything else at the time was doing. Yes, we just watched it last year, and I hadn't seen it in a couple of years, and it's campy. It's got that cheese element to it, but I really think overall it's a more... I still think that Spider-Man 2 is better.
It's definitely paced much better. The pacing in Far From Home's a little...
it's a little all over the place because there's a lot they're trying to wrap up from the Avengers, and
that's the other thing. This had to carry all the load from that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't devoting time to being like, oh, this is what happened to the Avengers. They just sort of mention it in passing. The bulk of the story is absolutely Peter.
Yeah, but they had to waste probably a whole 20 minutes ish, roughly, with like dealing with all that.
Right.
I mean, you've got the who's gonna be the next leader?
Why Homecoming was really good, just as a standalone movie, because it really didn't have too much of a tie into anything else other than Tony Stark being there. Yeah. It was Peter dealing with his problems of being in school and all that stuff. This one had those same elements, but more of that growing up, being more of an adult and taking responsibility for yourself. What was I gonna say? I don't know.
Yeah, growing up being a big boy.
He's a big Avenger. I would still say that Spider-Man 2 is the king.
It's tough for me.
I think that Tom Holland is a better Spider-Man. But I will say that Spider-Man 2 is a better movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to see it again, but as of right now, and because it's still just fresh in my mind, Mysterio alone, just how well he was done, how well they pulled off such a way more difficult villain to do well.
Yeah,
and that's the other thing is Doc Ock is relatively easy to like. I mean,
well, Doc Ock was like the first super that I can think of that in a film who was a villain who had just such a tragic excluding like Darth Vader and shit like that. Like I'm talking about superheroes here. He was the first one that like you could sympathize with him. He was that really good comic book villain.
I mean, you could sympathize with Norman because he was losing his sanity.
Well, he was losing his sanity, but that's also just sort of the typical evil villain gets sprayed with chemical, and now he's a bad guy. Yay!
Literally got gas farted into his eyes.
Yeah, exactly. But
I mean, I guess I just.
And then Dr. Octavius redeems himself at the end by saying no to these claws.
Also, like Darth Vader, when Darth Vader says no to these claws and then throws all.
No.
I was thinking the part where he's wearing his lobster bib and he's just throwing all of George Lucas's excess lobster claws off the balcony of the Death Star.
That's gonna about do it for us this week. Thank you for joining us, folks.
I didn't even get to say my piece.
All right. What do you want?
I'll just say real quick.
Go for it.
Right now, as of right now, before I see it again a second time, it's slightly better because of Jake Gyllenhaal, but it's still not nearly as good as. I don't want to say nearly as good, but it's still not as good as Spider-Verse.
Oh, Spider-Verse is so fucking good.
Spider-Verse is that's one of the absolute, if not the absolute best animated films I've ever seen. That's
up there in my top 5 with like Spirited Away.
For animated films?
Yeah, so I mean Spirited Away is still my number 1, but Spider-Verse is absolutely in that top 5. I gotta, I don't have a list right now, but
pull it out of your ass.
Shit!
All right, well, that's gonna about do it for us, folks.
I was gonna say that Spider-Man 2 has the one up for having J. Jonah Jameson, but we got at the very end pictures of a Spider-Man.
I love that he's Alex Jones.
Yeah, They basically took the video game character and made him real.
There's a fuck. Yeah, I have too much more to say about this movie.
Thank you. We will talk about this more next week or whenever the hell we feel like it.
Remember to stay creamy and vaccinate your grandpa.